Well, hello, everybody. It is noon, which means that we are in the Jindal School Graduate Dean's Town Hall meeting. So thank you to all of you for joining us. If you're here on campus, you hear the whistle blowing outside your window. It's the monthly Wednesday test of the alarm system, but there is nothing to be alarmed about because the right people are here to answer all of your questions today. So, we want to give up. That is one loud alarm.
Yeah,
And it is going on and on. Can you hear that, David?
uh-huh. I
Yeah,
can.
it's amazing. So, we want to cover some topics that are really timely for this part of the semester. We're halfway in. We're now back to regular classes. Classes are not de-densified as they were for the first 5 weeks of class. The building is full. The parking lot is full. We've got students everywhere. If you try to go get lunch, you better plan it so that you can not have to wait in the line too long. Life is back to normal here on campus, and we're really excited about that. But it is the mid-semester. We know students are focused on exams right now, not really focused on other deadlines that are going to be coming up. So we wanted to really remind students about some of those critical deadlines, just so that you can put them down in your planner and be aware of them. We have a number of people who are joining us for the town hall today, including my regular sidekick, David Widdifield. He's the director of the supply chain program, assistant dean for master studies. So he's with me as usual. But we also have Angela Howard, our assistant director for graduate advising in the advising office here in the Jindal School. And I want to give Angela the floor to kind of talk a little bit about these upcoming spring 2022 registration deadlines and other issues associated with that. So Angela, you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Powell. Hello, everyone. There's just a few items that I want to bring up since registration is coming very quickly for the spring 22 semester. So the first thing is that the schedule will be released between October 18th and October 25th. I know the calendar does have October 18th as when your schedule planner is available, but that's the earliest that it will be available for you. So I would say between the 18th and 25th, start to check your account to see what the classes are and what classes that you plan to take for that semester. If you don't see it by the 25th, you can definitely reach out to the university, but it should be all there for you guys by that date. The next is your enrollment appointments. So the enrollment appointments are the dates that you are able to enroll yourself online in your Orion Student Center. That will be released, the actual date will be released on the 18th. So you will see this is the date that I can enroll in my classes. Enrollment itself won't begin until November, so you will have your own individual date and time. So it may be November 3rd at 8:30 a.m. That might be the time that you see. So that will be released in your Orion Student Center on the 18th. So if you want to enroll before that, you can't. We can't enroll you either before that. So be sure to check that enrollment time in your, believe it's manage my classes area of your student center, all the tiles that you have. The next is holds. So some of you may have holds on your account for various reasons. Be sure to check those. Click on the holds. They're under the task file or tile in your account. If you look at the hold, it may say contact someone. Be sure to use that contact information if you're not sure why you have that hold. And some of these holds may not prevent you from enrollment, which is the good thing. Some of them are just indicators that let you know that you need to do something later. So be sure to check that it doesn't say cannot enroll. That's one, of course, you want to know why. But if it just says documents missing, if you're a new student, you may have to submit one of your transcripts. That may not prevent you from registration, but you want to check with the admissions office if it does. So always look at that contact information and try to clear out the hold this month before November so that you can enroll if that hold is preventing that enrollment. And then it's checking your emails. I know we tell you this all the time, but please check your UTD emails daily. The university does use that as the main way to contact the students. It may not just be advising or JSOM. It could be something for, especially after this year, you know, that it's COVID-19 updates or updates to the schedule. It's going to be in that email. So if you can add that app to your phone, It's just Outlook. Be sure to do it so that you're always up to date on what's going on at the university. And lastly, well, maybe not lastly, maybe one more thing, but it's how do you pick your classes? This is a question that students always have. There are three main areas that I like to remind students, that the main resources that you can use. The first is your catalog. Your program is listed in your catalog at all times, the graduate catalog online, and it just lists exactly what your requirements are. So go check that first. If you're not a new student, you probably already have a degree plan in e-learning that we've updated. You can look at that. We update those periodically, so you're probably going to get something about that in the next few weeks from us. But the first place, catalog. The next place would be your program. You have a program director and you have program support coordinators and managers. If you are not sure if a course will be the best for you, you've already looked at your catalog, you know that it counts, but you're just not sure about it. Contact your program director and say, this is what I plan to do with my degree. How will this class work when it comes to my goals? They're there for a reason. I've had people tell me that they're afraid to talk to their program directors. Don't be afraid. They're there to help you. So if you're not afraid to talk to us in advising, don't be afraid to talk to your program director. And then lastly, it would be us in advising. We are helping you guys maintain or manage your degree. We may not tell you what this accounting class will do for you, but we'll tell you if it counts, and we'll tell you if it's going to be available in that semester. So, we're here to manage the degree, to make sure that you're on track to graduate, but we can't tell you everything because I never did an accounting class. I wasn't a business major, but I can tell you about psychology, but you don't want to take that. So that's why we're here to manage. Your program director is here to help guide you on what your goals are. And then the catalog is always there 24 hours a day to let you know what you need to do. And then lastly, internships. Those are coming up, a lot of internship registrations. It's all now in Orion. I know it used to be in Handshake. We're no longer using that for internships. So be sure to check on the CMC website. They have a video that shows you exactly how to enroll. But if you're still not sure, we can at least get you that link. But it's going to be there once you have your internship. You've been hired technically. Your program still has to approve it. So be sure to upload all of your documents into that Orion internship portal, and then it will be processed and hopefully approved by your program. If they need something else, they will contact you, but be sure to do that because we can then, once you're approved, enroll you through advising. And it will be via email, so you don't have to come in. We just have to make sure that it's all in writing so that we can put it onto your account. So those are my main things. Check your email, make sure your holds are removed, look at your degree.
That's great, Angela. Thank you so much for that overview. No, I do think it's really important that students pay attention to the webinars, the town halls that your degree programs do. Many of them will do them a couple of times a month or at least once a month. And we encourage you to go and that's your perfect opportunity to just pound them with questions about what's the difference between this class and this class, and which one of these two skill classes are better given what I want to do, and can I do an internship for these amount of credits, and what is the process, what do I need to think about in terms of choosing an internship that you will approve, because every internship that you have to submit through Orion, it goes through a pretty lengthy approval process, and students often ask us, why in the devil does this have to go through an approval process? I got the internship. But there are legal requirements, especially for our international students, that the internships that you are enrolled in are directly related to your degree. And a program director cannot approve something that is corollary to the degree or kind of on the periphery of the degree. They want to make sure that the internships that they're improving are using the skills that you are obtaining in the degree program, so that later, should you land with an OPT offer or eventually an H-1B offer, somebody won't go back and scrutinize that and say the internships you took were not related to your degree. So that's why we do that. That's why it goes through the approval process. And then, of course, for our international students, that approval process, it finds its way to the ISSO, because you need a new I-20 that makes you eligible to be able to do that internship. And then the other one thing about internships I just want to remind all of our students about, and this is also specific to international students, when you get an offer, you will submit the offer letter as a part of the internship approval process. As an international student, do not start that internship until it's been approved, and do not start it 1 second before the date that you're supposed to on the offer letter. And then also don't stay in that internship 1 second longer than what the end date is of that internship, because that kind of error can make you out of status, and you do not want to be out of status. So please don't think that it matters to start 1 day early or work 3 days later. You are constrained to the window that is in the offer letter. So please don't hesitate to reach out to the Career Management Center here in JSOM. Go by the Career Management Center. They have a whole army of people that can answer your questions about internships and what's suitable for what careers and those kind of things. And then I want to back up what Angela said, because students have told this to me before. Oh, I can't ask the program director about this, that, or the other, because what if they think I'm stupid? Well, no question is stupid, and that is what they are there for. So reach out to them. They love getting to know the students and getting to answer those questions and be able to give that advice that is really so important to every student. So Angela, thanks for sharing those important deadlines. And again, just to reiterate one other thing that Angela said, for students who came in this fall, there were extensions granted to submit documents to November 1. You want to get those documents submitted so that that does not cause a hiccup in your ability to register. And of course, you've known about it a long time, so it's not a surprise. But don't think that that couldn't be an inhibitor. It could stop the process, and you don't want to be stopped from the process. And then I'll just throw one other thing in there, because I'm just so long-winded, and that is, students ask me all the time, who decides who gets to register first? Well, the students that are closer to graduation get the earliest registration appointments. So it kind of goes in an order like that. And you got to be quick on the draw when your appointment opens up. And so go out there and look, put things in your cart, be ready to hit that button. You know, it might change a little bit if you're late in the registration process. So things in your cart may change because they're not available anymore. But don't wait until the last moment and then be mad you didn't get the classes you wanted. So I'm going to kind of throw that out there. David, from a program director perspective, can you reassure these students that, you know, program directors don't bite?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, hello everybody. Hopefully we've had some conversations before, or even you're in my classes. But yeah, absolutely. What Dean Powell said, you know, seek out the guidance of your program director, your program coordinator, or manager to ask those questions, scheduling questions. A lot of them I get are, hey, I want to take this kind of career track, or I want to prepare myself for this type of internship. What electives should I go for? Take time to have those conversations. Just recently, last week, had a conversation with a student who wasn't aware of a certain elective within the supply chain degree statement. She wants to pursue a sourcing degree, wasn't aware that we had a import-export compliance elective that she could have taken. Unfortunately, it's only offered on fall, so she'll have to take it next fall. But my point is, you can get answers to those kinds of questions and many more. Sometimes maybe it's a, hey, I've done my first semester and this degree is not working out for me. What should I do now? Angela and I get these questions all the time. We're happy to work with you. And you know, you need to make sure that you're in the program that's right for you, both educationally and professionally. So your program directors can help guide you and advise you on that as well. So yeah, please have those conversations. Take advantage of any of your programs, meet and greet or sessions, information sessions that they're having for current students. I know myself, next week we're going to kick off the fall with our meet and greet next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Take advantage of those sessions. If you happen to be interested in another degree and you become aware of that and you want to check it out, that's a good time to go talk to the program directors and the personnel there as well. So I think that the biggest thing is, like Dean Powell was saying, we don't bite. So we're here to help you guys. The last thing that I will say is that I get a lot of questions about, I'm not sure if I'm going to be meeting the good academic standing. And I know these questions come up all the time. And I know that you guys are constantly looking at. One of the things that I would say is that when you have had issues on that, or you think there's going to be issues on that, keep in touch with your graduate advising team. That team, as well as your program director, can work through those. Make sure I can't stress this enough. Make sure you're contacting and communicating with your professor. Too many times I get to the end when someone has had a problem, and I said, well, did you talk to the faculty member or the TA? And I said, yeah, I did the last week of finals or the last 2 weeks. And that's too late. If you're starting to struggle, take time to say, hey, what kind of help can I get? In my own program, we just helped a person who was struggling with statistics. We're into week 6 right now. We want to make sure that that person is successful. That person is now working with a tutor out of the MSSEM program, who did very, very well in stats, is kind of a math nerd. And that's working really well. So we're happy to help you guys with those kind of issues.
Wow, David, thank you so much for talking about that, because I do think that students should not feel shame if they need a little bit of help. Our programs are tough, and sometimes that means you have to identify a classmate who might be really good. I have never seen a student tell another student, I'm not willing to help you. Our culture is to very much help each other. So reach out and get some quick help, so that you don't find yourself behind the 8 ball. Because remember, Angela, you want to talk a minute about the policy around dropping classes? Because I think students forget about, they think that they can just do it anytime.
Very true. And unfortunately, that is not possible. You do have a deadline to drop courses. For fall, I'm going to pull up the full calendar just so we have it, the exact deadline for graduate students. The last deadline to drop a full-term class is November 3rd. After that, you cannot drop a class. So you still get a W for your drops now, but if you want to drop after that, you're not able to. So if you're not doing well, you may fail that class. So it's better to know.
Yeah, Angela, that is such a good point. So if you drop now, you will have the letter grade of W.
Yes.
Okay. And you can't do anything about that. The drop add time is over. So if you drop the class, you're going to have a W. Students will sometimes say, oh my gosh, but I got to try and at least, get a C or something. Sometimes a W is better than a C. Remember, you have to have a core GPA in good standing at graduation and an overall GPA in good standing to graduate. And that's a 3.0 for both of them. So sometimes biting the bullet and paying for the class again with a W is a whole lot better than getting a C when you already have a couple of other C's, and then you've got a bigger hole that you dug. So, be mindful of that. An employer doesn't look at a W and go, oh my, you've got a W. I mean, a W is a W. Sometimes people get sick. Sometimes people, have a car accident. Sometimes there are external things that impact a student dropping a class. A W is not a negative. So don't think of it as a negative. So I bet we have some questions, Norma.
We do. We have some great questions. The very first one, and we've had various different modalities since spring 2020 till now. So we have a question asking, what are the modalities going to be for spring 2022?
Whoa, well, isn't that student being proactive? Thanks for that question. So they're basically the same modalities that we had here for fall. It is face-to-face, hybrid, or fully 100% online. A lot of students are asking us questions about, will that remote modality come back? I think in the future the remote modality will come back, but not yet. We aren't kind of ready for that. I think we had a lot of students who really liked taking a live streaming class. But for spring, it will be face-to-face, hybrid, or fully online, which means the course has an OW in the section number.
The next question is, if I am on academic probation from a prior semester, when will I be notified of good academic standing from fall 2021?
When you get your grades. So
Yep.
when you get your grades for fall, it will show on your unofficial transcript if you are on another semester of probation. So if you have been here one semester, say you came in spring of 2021, and let's say, unfortunately, your overall was a 298, then you are on academic probation for that first spring. That means you add 2 more semesters in which to get yourself into good academic standing to avoid dismissal. You only get 3, so keep that in mind. Now, there's one real challenge. Let's say you are the student who came last fall, in fall of 20, and you took courses in fall, you took courses in spring, and unfortunately, you are at a 298, and you now want to do an internship. You aren't going to be able to get that internship approved until after you get your fall grades and your GPA is above a 3.0. You have to have a GPA a 3.0 or above to be eligible to take an internship for credit.
While we're talking about internships, I'm going to go ahead and put Dr. Widdifield back on the screen because I think he has a comment that he'd like to make about international student internships.
Yeah, thank you, Norma. So one of the things that's kind of a misconception, I think, within the internships when people are preparing for them is that, can I only do those domestically? Well, the answer to that question is no. We actually, and I should say UTD, allows for you to do an international internship, even if it's back in your home country. A few of my students in the MSSEM program have done internships where they have gone back to their home country. If you are interested in pursuing those, myself and the Career Management Center, we will work with you to get those approved. You can find the requirements about how to apply for those, when to apply, right at the International Students and Scholars Office website. It's the Education Abroad for International Students webpage. That will provide you with the information on how to pursue those internships. The same requirements will apply that you have to meet here for domestic here in JSOM. But I know that this question has been coming up more often as students are preparing for spring of 22 in my program, and just wanted to make sure that everyone on the meeting here today was also aware of that. Thanks, Norma.
Thank you. So, Dean Powell, our next question is also about internships. We have a couple of those. When exactly are fall?
Oh, sorry about that. Hold on.
Okay.
2 seconds. Sorry, somebody said something.
I thought maybe it was on my end.
No, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
When exactly are fall 2021 students eligible for internships? Is it from April for summer internships? So I guess I'm assuming this person is a new student in fall 2021 and they want to know when they can do an internship.
So it depends upon your degree program. If you are in 5 different degree programs, you have this caveat that says at the end of 18 hours, you must complete an internship or take an alternative class. And those are our management science, our business analytics, our ITM, our supply chain, and marketing. Those are the 5 that you must do it at the end of 18 months. Now, if you are a brand new student this fall, and let's say you're taking 10 credit hours and you plan to take 9 in the spring, you're going to be over that 18. You should start looking for that internship in, November, December, January, February, and get that internship, which would be a summer internship. Go through the approval process to get it approved so you can do that internship in summer or late May, whenever that internship would start. Because you don't achieve the credit hour limit and then go look for the internship. It's too hard to coordinate that. It's too late. You need to start looking for the internship early.
Perfect. And I think you actually answered our next question about internships. It is, does JSOM require an internship for ITM students?
Yes.
And that was one of the 5 programs that you did mention
Yes.
After completion of 18 hours about the internship requirement. Perfect. So the next question, this person says, I am graduating this December, but I won't be able to attend the commencement ceremony. Is it possible for me to attend in May? And if so, how?
Wow. So I'm really glad that you asked that question. So first of all, congratulations on your upcoming graduation. Second of all, the university, it's gotten very difficult to allow students to go to future commencement ceremonies because our numbers of graduating students are so high, and we do those on campus in the activities center. So generally speaking, they don't let people attend graduation after they have actually graduated. So that's the unfortunate answer.
Alrighty. This one's specific, so I'm not quite sure if we can answer this here, but they said this person checked with their professors regarding taking final exams for this semester online since they plan to go to their home country in late November with exams in December. This person was told that it was fine to take the exams from anywhere as long as they have access to HonorLock. Will the final exams be online? So I think it's specific to their classes, but I wanted to be fair and ask that question.
I'm really glad that somebody asked that question, because there are classes that are in this fall's schedule that we designated as designated classes. And it was to accommodate our international students who would be arriving late from their countries. And so those classes were available online for those students virtually until they could get here. We do have, I don't know, somewhere around 30, 40, 50 international students who are joining us mid-semester who will join those designated classes. This issue of whether the exam is online, now for those designated classes, I think that many of those faculty were going to give those online using HonorLock. What is critically important here is that you should not make any assumptions about your class or your final exam. You need to personally talk to your faculty, every single one of them, and say, I'm planning to go to my home country. Is the exam going to be offered online? Am I going to be able to take it? Will I be using HonorLock? Because you cannot assume that final exams are online. The only place that they are definitely online will be for those designated classes. I think those are going to be online, although it can vary from professor to professor, and your OW, your fully asynchronous classes. Those will be online, but they are not using HonorLock in those OW classes. So you need to check with each and every one of your faculty. I would put it in an email. I would have that email back from them that says, yes or no, my class final will be available online, and this is how it's going to work. You want to make sure that you don't make an assumption that they're online and then get back to, you know, Pakistan or Egypt or France and find out you can't take the exam.
Perfect. The next question is, earlier we were talking about tracks and concentrations within the degree. And this person asks, do we need to notify our program director that we want to choose one of those tracks?
So it kind of depends upon the program. Some of the programs, yes, they want to know. Other programs, they don't. In supply chain, David, you guys want to know which track they are in, because it helps you from a planning perspective to make sure that you have ample supply of courses within that to fulfill the track for the students. But it really depends upon your degree program. So just pop an email to your academic support coordinator or your program director or the program manager, depending upon your degree program, and let them know. Some do track it and some do not.
I know accounting does. Just so
accounting
you know.
does,
accounting
supply chain does.
Yeah, we
but
do.
I don't think that analytics and ITM do.
No.
So those are
really.
two that I don't believe do, but I do know the other two do.
Right.
It looks like, oh, I think we might have got more questions as I was saying that.
They just sort of popped in. You know, I'm so glad that these students are asking these critical questions at this particular junction. It will relieve yourself of a lot of stress and anxiety to get the answers now as opposed to later.
So the person that asked about the online exams, thanks you very much. They're going to reach out to their professors. And when we were talking about concentrations, this person was an ITM major, and I think you mentioned that they don't want to.
They do not track it. That's one of our bigger programs, both that program and analytics. So the volume is high that I don't think they have a need to track it. But it is important, as soon as the schedule goes live for spring, it is important for you to look at it and see which courses are offered based on the track you might be interested in. The other thing that's really important, and I love that Angela said this, is, you know, she said, when you think about planning, go back to the catalog, your catalog. The catalog that you are in is the semester in which you started, unless you did something else, but it's generally the semester you started, that fall's catalog. Go back and look. Oftentimes you can see a code on the classes that tell you how often that class is being offered annually, whether it's every semester or only once in the spring or fall. That'll give you a heads up on the availability of those classes. And
Perfect.
folks, I just want to throw something else out here. We have the most amazing faculty. And I know that all of you out there just love and adore Rate My Professor and Reddit, and you went out to lunch with all of your friends who are seniors and they're raving about Professor X or Professor Y. Folks, all of our professors are terrific. You know, when students get at the end of their program, we ask them to complete an exit survey. And over 90% of our graduate students complete that. It's a requirement for graduation. So we track them down. If you don't, we find you. But the point I'm making is that in the end, and they reflect on all our faculty, they all get rave reviews. I mean, some of them are harder, some of them are, push harder, some of them are more rigorous, some of them have too many course deliverables, some of them weren't hard enough, but all in all, our students love our faculty. So don't get hung up on needing to be in Professor X's class, because Professor Y and Z are really good too. So, sometimes I think students get a lot of stress around kind of the old Burger King motto, have it your way at Burger King, where you get to build your burger the way you want it. And if you don't build it the way you want it, you don't like your burger. You will like the class, even if you're taking Professor, Y or Z. I must be hungry. That was kind of an odd analogy there.
We do not have any new questions coming in right now. So it looks like we've answered all their inquiries for now.
Well, that's really terrific. I want students who have been busy kind of getting ahead in classes. Obviously, the students that are with us today have either already taken their midterms or their midterms are a few days away, so they could take some time to be with us. I encourage all students to really manage their degree experience. And if you've been busy trying to get your footings in your classes and you're doing great, then now is the time for you to start getting engaged and getting involved, joining those student organizations, making and connecting with new friends, really getting outside of your comfort zone to get everything you can get out of the experience of being at the Jendal School. And then I think the last thing I would say, Norma, is, our culture here is just so special. I just love when I'm downstairs in the building walking around and, I see a student struggling to get in the door and some stranger student comes up and grabs everything that person is struggling with and helps them to get to their class, or that student coming in the back door that's on crutches who's trying to dangle a backpack and a lunchbox, or, and I've mentioned it before in town halls, that group of students that get together on Friday evening and play mahjong. And, there's just a group that gets together. We have the most amazing spirit of friendship, spirit of helpfulness and cooperation and paying it forward to somebody else. And I just want to thank all of you for helping us to sustain that, because that's really special about the Jendal School. It makes it a really unique place. And so we're not going to hold you long. We're not going to make you listen to chitter chatter between David, Angela, Norma, and myself. We're going to let you move on to the other things that you have on your agenda. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you to David. Thank you to Angela and Norma for running the controls. We always appreciate that. And you guys go out and make it a great semester. And if you have any questions at any time, reach out to the question desk. They are there to answer your questions. You can always send an email to jendal@utdallas.edu, and we will be sure to get that answer back to you. So thanks for coming today. Happy noontime. Go get some lunch, because clearly I must need some. Take care, you guys. Bye.